Okay, I reckon I've seen enough now, and I reckon I can pull the trigger and review this blockade or strike or planned insurrection or planned reclaiming of all political houses or forced abdication of government or mass hanging of politicians, whatever you want to call it, that was planned for today. Well, no, actually yesterday too, Monday, August the 3rd. Well, both really. This is confusing. Okay, this is Karen. Karen has a rich inner world, and she thinks she's a Freemason hunter. Now, months ago, Karen organised an event for Tuesday, August the 31st. This was a day when everyone in Australia would arrive outside all Houses of Parliament, march into them silently, and claim them bodily until all the secret Freemason pedophile politicians resign. Eventually, Karen's idea took hold among the conspiracists, the COVID denialists and the anti-vaxxers, and chooks from all walks of life started repeating what she'd said. Some of those chooks drove trucks. But Karen's just one conspiracist talking head. Many of the other talking heads, or influencers, decided to make their own day. That's because Karen has accused many of them of being pedophiles. So, they chose the day beforehand, August the 30th. Some big old needy TikTok truckies got behind August the 30th. Yes, apparently that's a category of human nowadays. What's more, some far-right fringe party politician parasites saw it as an opportunity to build their pandemic branding. That looked to be the day of a big truckie blockade where all the highways would be stopped until the government ended all lockdowns and stopped asking everyone to have vaccines forever. Meanwhile, Tuesday, August the 31st started to gain a reputation as maybe a day of insurrection, because some of Karen's comments around hanging politicians and those of her followers started getting around. Would August the 31st see the seizing of all houses of politics, or even the hanging of pedophile Freemason pollies? Well, before we answer that question, I just want to say that any and all of the above would have been, frankly, fucking sick. I'm not in league with these COVID denialist fantasists. Yeah, you all know that, I think. But I've got no skin in this particular dumb fucking game. You know, I am also sick of this fucking government, and I'm sick of cops, and policing the fucking pandemic. I'm sick of all of it. So, you know, if any of that was to happen, from insurrections through to mass hangings, I would have sat there with a big bag of popcorn. In fact, I literally did, you know, buy a big bag of popcorn today, and I ate it over the course of the day. So, you know, you can see that it would have been fucking sick. I hate this stupid fucking useless movement, because I think it actually prevents tangible change from being demanded of the government with the coppers. Because instead of asking for real shit, you're just asking for fucking garbage. You know, when there's plenty of real demands that can be made and are being made. But look, we can have a little insurrection as a treat, can't we? Anyway, here's what happened while I dined on popcorn. Monday, August the 30th, the big blockade. 5:45am, truckies rocked up in Robina on the Gold Coast. They blocked the M1, and then, about 30 minutes afterwards, at about 6:15am, the truckies left. Why? Well, watch this.
Can I say to you, I think you've proven your point now, the government. You can do this anytime. What I suggest, because you've got a lot of Aussies down there who are caught in this, you've got to think of the Aussies now.
Yeah.
I will stand beside you.
The police put him in that position. They were at the exit.
I will stand beside you to do it.
So what happened? And what happened there?
And continue the fight. But now, I'd suggest move your truck, move it on, let the Aussies get to the work and do what they need to do.
I'm only doing it for you, and that's it. Oh, and the Aussies.
After that, some truckies went down south of the New South Wales-Queensland border and stopped in to a servo in sleepy northern New South Wales town, Chindera. The big truckie blockade ended after half an hour, and it wound up with people smashing a servo pie in Chindera. So that's it. That's Monday. That's the end of Blockade. That's on to Tuesday now, okay? You have to forget about Monday now. Sorry. Tuesday, August the 31st. The storming and claiming of all Houses of Parliament. Okay, so the first thing that happened on this day is that Karen Brewer herself went out to stand in silence outside a House of Parliament. Now, remember, this is Karen Brad Hazard, you fucking cunt, you will be swinging from a rope and your carcass will be dumped in the depths of the sea. Anzac we stand. Brewer. Well, she got arrested and it was a pretty mild affair, I have to say.
Order, COVID-19, you need to leave immediately or else you will be arrested. Are you going to leave? Okay, alright.
Okay. So I'm placing you under arrest, failing to comply with a public health response order 2021. You have the right to remain silent.
Supposed to be 2.5 metres away.
We go from Karen hanging the New South Wales Health Minister to Karen, gently reminding the local constabulary of their social distancing obligations. However, the powerful thing is that this day had huge numbers all across the nation. Mullumbimby, Murwillumbah, Gold Coast, Sydney.
Let's go, Australia. We're all here waiting for you. Where's everybody else in New South Wales, huh?
Hobart, Melbourne. There's old mate Fanos, loving a bit of attention as always. Love you, old mate. Keep on soaking up that love. And somewhere around the New South Wales Queensland border, somewhere or another, old mate Horseman shows up again, more convinced than ever that he is Mel Gibson. Now he's giving full cornball speeches while riding bareback.
Where are the strong men in Australia, the leaders? Australia needs leaders, not politicians.
Okay, so impressive numbers for the day. 1,000, I think, in Gold Coast. Not sure about Brisbane. Lots in Queensland, lots and lots of people. But nobody stormed the Parliament, and that's what I think's interesting. Why? Why didn't that happen? So, Karen Brewer spends months plugging one rally for 31st of August, which is all about people entering and claiming council or state or federal government chambers or halls of parliament. Then the chooks, the consumers of all these calls to actions and constant conspiracies going back and forth in these Telegram groups, including truckies, they take that date, it plants in their head as a seed, and they pass it on through this hyperactive rumour mill of theirs, as they're supposed to. Then I think many of the people go on to kind of forget where it came from. Many of the chooks, that is, they get caught up, in the allure of truckies. Truckies drive Australia. Truckies are standing up for our rights. Stand up for your rights, Australia. The influencer caste don't forget so easily. Remember, they're in control of a lot of this movement because they're in control of the information flow. And they don't want to be associated with Karen Brewer. And that isn't just because of the hanging politicians thing. It's also because she's called half of them pedophiles. They want to make their own play date. So they make another date, but they still try to steal some of the mounting energy from Karen's date by making it the day beforehand, Monday, August the 30th. You've got two fractured dates, which is bad for cohesion, makes no sense, and it would fuck up normal rally movements, but kind of suits the feverish pace of Telegram groups and conspiracists. The Monday date is more appealing to these influencer caste types, and more importantly, the fringe far-right pollies, like Craig Kelly or Pauline Hanson. But then Monday falls to bits within minutes, precisely because of its proximity to these fringe far-right pollies. Because she's able to whisper into the ears of the influencer class and promise them what they really want, which is influence. That's exactly what fringe far-right politicians were born to do. They're parasites who feed off of movements like this. He's one of the organising truckies of this blockade. Brocky, who's a big TikTok truckie, and he's there on the Monday morning just after he's cucked out and agreed to Pauline telling him to end the blockade that he was gonna be doing for weeks, I thought. And moments later, he's in a video on One Nation's page.
I'm pleased that you moved on. You've proven your point, but there was other Aussies there caught up in that.
That's it,
wanting
mate.
to go to work. People might going to
and
medical
I
treatment
didn't want to hurt any more people because enough people have been hurt by this whole situation.
So he gets his big dream, a pat on the head from our Pauline. Then the next day, here's Brocky acting like some Craig Kelly shit is somehow the point of the whole thing.
Massive thanks to Craig Kelly yesterday for delivering that to Parliament. That's the whole reason behind yesterday. So
these cunts love a pat on the head, and they are fodder. They are enduring saps for the attentions of these opportunist politicians. That's why the 30th was killed off. But what happened today on the 31st? People again seem to forget that it was meant to be about entering chambers of Parliament. They just stood outside them. So my take is that I think their strength is also their failing here. They are so impressively overstimulated by this constant hyperactive panic rumour mill that, on their Telegram groups and the like, that they go out, they hit the streets. A lot of these people are catastrophising constantly. There's nothing quite as catastrophic as being in these fucking Telegram groups. So they hit the streets, They do shit at a moment's notice, no matter what the cops say about it. And that is impressive. But that hyperactive rumour mill is also kind of their downfall, I think. They listen to everything. These chooks gobble it all up. But they wind up so inundated with different plans on different days and memes and ideas and rumours and updates and conspiracies and info and disinfo that they kind of lose track of where their own plans are coming from. It makes these people very motivated, but very difficult to organise in any meaningful way. And they wound up doing some weird, vague, fuzzy-headed impression of Karen Brewer's initial plan. So no one even tried to get into the chambers, at least as far as I'm aware. Maybe one or two people did, but on the whole, that didn't seem to be the point of the rallies. They were really just standing there. And they were also standing there silently, like how Karen wanted them to. Karen thought it would look sick and dignified and imposing. But when you look at the footage, it actually just looks a bit weird and uncertain. Like they're all waiting for someone to do something and pull the trigger, which is exactly what they were doing. So I guess as a dedicated popcorn eater on today, the planned insurrection day, good on them for growing their numbers, I guess. They've got a lot of very motivated people, conspiracists, and it's growing, it seems, a lot, all the time. At least enough to get attention for their regular media spectacles. It's just that they can't organise a fucking chook raffle and they all think they're there for completely different reasons. So back to the drawing board, guys. And by the drawing board, I mean Telegram groups where everyone has different fucking ideas about what the fuck they're doing. In hindsight, maybe trying to redeem a concept started by a fucking geographically dysphoric fantasist idiot who thinks she's a Freemason hunter by moving it to the adjacent day to kind of steal some of that clout. Maybe that was a terminally flawed idea from the get-go. Maybe the whole thing was a bad idea from the ground up, doomed to fail because it was propagated by idiot daydreamers. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just a cynic. But it makes it fun viewing on Telegram though, doesn't it, guys? So I guess it was all worth it. Anyway, thank you. I want to wrap up with this thing that Karen said. Mind you, this is after months and months of organising towards an event across an entire continent that she was genuinely billing as a fucking insurrection. This is what she said after she got released from her arrest.
G'day everybody, it's Karen Brewer. Hi Fardo. Just thought I'd let you know I'm okay. Got a few bail conditions. I've got to stay at home and yeah. Anyway, just thought I know you'd all be worried, but yeah, I'm back home now. All's good. Yeah, you guys have a great day. Bye.
Have a great day, insurrectionists.